if you see here, like on this one, you need to combine like terms. Number one, look, negative 5y cubed is all by itself. There's no other 5y cubed, so that should be pretty easy. You should say negative 5y cubed. There's nothing to go with the 6y squared, so 6y squared. Then I have like terms, 7y and 3y, which is 10y. And then negative 2 plus 1 becomes negative 1. So your answer for number 1 is negative 5y cubed plus 6y squared plus 10y minus 1. Pretty easy.
Oh, this one.
You don't necessarily have to do a whole problem a lot of times with multiple choice to figure out the right answer. If you look here, like if I were to distribute 2 to the x squared, okay, because this is asking which of these will simplify to that. 2 to the x squared is 2x squared. Is 2 minus 3 a positive 1?
Yeah.
No. Is 2 plus 3 a positive 1?
Yeah.
No. 2 plus 3 is positive 1? Okay. Negative 2 minus 3, is that going to be a positive 1? No. Negative 2 plus 3. Yes. So your answer there is D.
That was awesome.
If you take the 1295 and add 7 cents per minute, so that's your X, it would equal to the price of $14.56. All you got to do is subtract $14.56 minus $12.95, then divide by 0.07, and you should get an answer of 23 minutes. On number 4, the decimal answer for number, or fraction answer, the answer I got after I combined like terms and then divided, I got an answer of negative 43 over 2, or you could put that as negative 21.5. Whatever. Okay, on number 5, if you type that in, do distributive property, then start moving things like variables to the left, numbers to the right, you should get negative 40 over 6, which would, if you put it as a decimal, would be negative 6.67. Increasing, shh, quiet, increasing. From here to here, you can tell the line is increasing. Okay, but if you notice here, this is asking for x values. So between which x values is this going up? From here, it's at what?
Negative 1.
Negative 1 to positive 1. So your answer should be B. Domain and range. Remember, domain is your left and your right. So the furthest to the left is negative 4. The furthest to the right, positive 4. The lowest, that's your range. The lowest is negative 4. The highest is 5. And there's your domain and range for the graph, for the function.
It's always going to be the same.
Well, the point is that it's always left and right for the domain, low and high for the range. Okay, number 8, you should be able to figure that out. But look, this same domain is the x's. We've got these restrictions. Here's the function. All you need to do is say 3 times negative 3 minus 2, putting in this negative 3. Then put in the 3. 3 times 3 minus 2. If you do that, you'll get negative 11 and 7. So the person that did this made an oops, and that 4 should be a 7. Because they probably said 3 times 3 was 6 and then subtracted 2. Vertex. Remember, the vertex is negative HK. Okay? We've done that before. So to get a negative 2 inside the parentheses, it would have had to have been a, what's the opposite of this negative 2? Positive 2. So I would look for a positive 2 inside the parentheses and a plus 4 outside. Looks like that's C. Positive 2 plus 4. Yep. It's the only way I can do the grade cam. So I'm like going, yay, let me try the grade cam. If it doesn't help you, I'm not going to count it for you. I still have to send in the results to the district, but I'm not going to count against you. All right. Reflection. How do I show reflection? Shh. Quiet. How do I show reflection, folks? Show me a reflection. And then a vertical to move it up and down. Should the number be outside or inside the parentheses? Outside. So according to this, it should be C. Negative absolute value of x minus 3. Okay, on this one, now, here's the other part. Realize it doesn't matter if it's absolute value, squared, or square root. The principle is the same. Okay? Inside the parentheses, a plus tells you to go to the left, a minus tells you to go to the right. Outside the parentheses, up and down. A negative in the very front is a reflection. So on number 11, if I want to go to the up 5 units, that should be above or a plus 5 outside the parentheses. Plus 5, so either B or D. Right 3, according to that, to go to the right 3, according to what I have written on the board, should be a minus 3. So the answer there should be B. And then if you look at number 12, how do I get this to flip? What does that mean to do a flip? Negative. That's a reflection. So it has to be, well, A, C, or D. Then if you notice here, it's at 0, then it goes down 3 spots. To show that I went down 3, where would I put a minus 3? Outside the parentheses or inside? Outside. So the answer there is A. Okay, you see here, according to this review, there's going to be a lot of with translations and vertexes, so make sure you kind of study those. Here, what does the minus 2 on the outside do? If it's a minus 2 outside the parentheses, outside the square root, what does that do?
2 units down.
2 units down. Okay, what does the minus 6 inside the parentheses do?
6 units to the right. Yeah, that's right.
6 units to the right. So I want 6 units to the right, 2 units down. The answer is C. Domain of 3, greater than or equal to 3. Okay, let's look at this and let's do this from a vertex standpoint. What's the vertex of this first one? Opposite of a negative 3? Positive 3, comma 1. Here, opposite of a positive 5? Negative 5, comma negative 2. Opposite of a positive 3? Negative 3, comma negative 2. Opposite of a positive 2, negative 2, comma negative 1. Which of those, think about this, domain, the x. Which one of those is equal to 3 or greater? A. So that means then that would be your answer. If you look on the board, here's the graphs of those, and again, here's that 3, it's going that way, greater than. Whereas all these others, starting at negative 5, negative 2, and negative 3, will give you some other points.
Why do you have to get the opposite side?
Because what's your domain, what's your range? Your range is the number of cars you're buying. Your domain has to be the money you're going to use to buy it. Because how much money you have decides how many cars you can buy. So again, range is like the dependent. So how many cars depends on how much money. So, can I have negative money? No. Can I have decimals with money?
Yes.
Yes. So if I can't have negatives, I can't have that, and I can't have that. I would be D, because that allows me to have decimal answers. B tells me integers, which don't allow decimals. Third 6 weeks. You're not going to like it. All right. Number 16, you should be able to simplify. Just do order of operations. The answer is negative 11, I believe. 17, what's the domain? What's the furthest to the left?
Negative 4.
Negative 5, actually. What's the furthest to the right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, I'll just write it like that. What's the lowest? That's your range. Negative 2. What's your highest?
2.
Okay, there's your domain and range. 18, all you need to do is plug it in. And if you plug it in, you can use your calculator for that. Just plug it in, press enter. I believe it should get you an answer of 13 over 15, but y'all can double check that. On 19, okay, you notice here there's a variable here. What is that variable going to be in place of? In place of what? X. So basically you just take out the x's and put in a's. So your answer for 19 is a squared plus a minus 2. That's it. Nothing you can do with that. You just change out the variables. If I say this is A, this is B, this is C, which one of those is linear? B. Okay. Which one's quadratic? A. And that means then the other one has to be logarithmic. Now, you do need to know like what a square root function looks like too. It's like the U-shaped graph but cut off half. Okay? But study those functions there on your review. Which of those is not a function? Technically, based on the graph. Is not. C technically is still a function. A is the one because it's got points over each other. Not a function. B is a function. C is a function. Even though C looks like it's got points over each other, they're supposedly getting so... They're slanted at such a small angle that we can't see it anymore. That's what that's supposed to be making it look like. It's really hard to tell that, but B and C are technically functions. A is the one that's not a function because you have points over each other. And we like to usually make it obvious which points are over each other.